Well, we've got the jobs number. The report from the first full month of job growth under President Trump just into our newsroom.
Look at these numbers. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, 235,000 jobs were created in the month of February. That is more than expected. That's up from 227,000 added in January.
I think that's winning. That's why I got a little bit more tired. And the U.S. unemployment rate is now 4.7%. That's down from 4.8% in January. So certainly some good numbers coming.
That's why those college students are taking naps. They're tired of winning.
I'm reading
everywhere.
Some of the commentary about the number. This number clears the way for the Fed to increase the interest rate going forward. Newt Gingrich, former Speaker of the House, joins us right now live from our nation's capital. Newt, also, according to the Wall Street Journal, the labor force participation rate went up a little bit, and wages better than last month as well.
Well, look, I think this is the beginning of turning the Trump rally into a Trump reality. He's already worked very hard to create jobs. He's going to do a lot more. His deregulation efforts are going to pay off big time. They need to pass tax reform, which will really accelerate economic growth. He's going to be very frugal in how the government buys things. That's going to bring down the deficit. That will further help economic growth. So I think you're seeing the beginnings, I emphasize beginnings, of a potential Trump economic era that could involve great consumer confidence, lots of people going out starting new businesses, and a real boom in American job creation.
Well, Mr. Speaker, speaking of beginnings, the beginnings of the rollout of the Republican repeal and replace of Obamacare has taken place. And with Vice President Mike Pence, he's now out there backing the bill, says this is our bill, and trying to get everyone behind it, including conservatives. What do you make of the state of play right now with conservatives out there criticizing the current plan, the Vice President making a big push on it, and the President himself doing so with folks coming to the White House?
Well, I actually like the way President Trump and Vice President Pence have approached this. They've both said, look, this is a good basic start. They've both said they're willing to negotiate. I think you had a White House quote earlier that they're doing exactly what Donald Trump does. Remember, his book was called The Art of the Deal, not The Art of the Unilateral Decision. And that's the way it should be. The legislative process, this is what Obamacare did not do. They didn't go through amendments and hearings and negotiations.
Regular order.
They rammed it through. So Speaker Ryan has talked over and over about the importance of reestablishing regular order. Senator McConnell has a very hard job because of the nature of Senate rules and the fact that his majority is so narrow. But I think their job has to be see what gets a majority in the House, then see what gets passage in the Senate, then probably go to conference and see if you can work out something which meets both bodies. This is the constitutional process. It's not, shouldn't be a big surprise.
So, Newt, you see, some in the Freedom Caucus are afraid that they're not going to listen to anything they're saying, and the bill
that's not what the Vice President said.
Well, I
Vice
realize
President last night, he was on exclusive with Brett Baer.
Because he's busy selling it. But my question is, how much flexibility do they have in changing the bill?
They have as much as they need to get to a majority. That is the legislative process. I mean, America's a very tough country to govern because the Founding Fathers distributed power to avoid dictatorship, and they invented a machine so inefficient that no dictator can make it work, and we can barely get it to work voluntarily. And that's the way it's supposed to be. So I think the bill will be improved. I think it'll have different things done to it. It's very hard if you're the guys who wrote the bill. No committee chairman wants to go through this process. All committee chairmen would like to write their bill, pass it on their terms, preferably quickly, so they can go back to being chairman. But that's really not what's going to happen here, nor should it be. I'm very encouraged by Trump's attitude. Come on down, let's do a little bowling, let's chat, would you like an iced tea,
right.
How are things going? Remember, they've got all the regulatory power of Dr. Price to fix things. They've got a chance for future legislation to help fix things. And then they got to work out what will, very simple, what will pass the House and pass the Senate. They've got to answer that question.
Well, the Vice President said we do need to improve. There is room for improvement, and we are going to listen to all the conservatives that want to weigh in on this.
Right.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for being with us.
Great.
Happy Friday. Have a great weekend.
Take care.
Thank you.